It is my honor to be here as speaker for sharing what I have done and learned in the last 3 years. This topic is about the best practice to minimize loss circulation issue by using fracture pressure model, which is developed under data limitation and uncertainties. This becomes our challenge that team and I need to overcome. I hope you all enjoy and get some new idea from my presentations, or you may have some suggestions that we can discuss more later. All of you may know and familiar with the loss circulation issue in your fields. It is the same as me in Gulf of Thailand, especially in my working area, Stun and Funan field. Loss circulation is the most dealing issue that we encountered during 2014 to 2018. Based on the historical data, if you decide to drill 2 new infill wells, one of them will be facing with the loss circulation issue. We have to spend more than $6.3 million on non-productive time to ensure the well was safe before we pull out of hole, and also to secure the well. And this financial impact is not include other side effects, such as we lost opportunity to drill deeper and chase for the new pay potential. Sometimes it is not. Excuse me, everyone see my screen yet?
Not yet. Kun Nardthida, please share your screen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is it show the screen yet? Okay. I hope you now see my screen. Okay, sorry
yes,
for.
Yes, can see it now. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for having checked that before. Okay, so this is the what I have said about the impact from the loss circulation in Stun and Funan field and the historical data. And now, based on the impact that we have to spend on the NPT, is also impact in the other sections as a consequences. Like we cannot drill deeper and we cannot chase for the new pay potential. Sometimes it's impact to the cement loss during well completion, and it not cover all the pay section that we need to recompletion and delay the production as consequences. No one wants this unexpected event to be happened. In the following slide, I will show you the background before becoming the model as today. Stun and Funan fields are the gas fields which located in the southern part of Pattani Basin in Gulf of Thailand. The main lithologies are sand, shales, and coal. As long of production history over 36 years in Stun and Funan fields. Most of the reservoirs are depleted, but we still have high chance of getting new pays when we go back for an infill well location in between the 2 existing wells. At the same time, we observe that we have higher number of loss circulation wells when compared to the primary development phase. So, team and I decided to try and to identify the cause of loss circulation by look back to all available data in the area. There are several cases show different resistivity profiles that measured during drilling the well and pump out of holes, as shown in the pictures. This is example of the section that we do with water basement. The first track is gamma ray. The second track is resistivity in different investigation depth. The third track is the resistivity measurement in different time. The black line is the measurement while drilling, and the pink line is measurement while pump out of hole after we got the loss circulation issue in the well. With a different measurement time, it is interesting that it shows separation in the depleted sand that has similar lock properties when compared to the virgin pressure sand below. So This evidence could indicate lost circulation zone into the depleted sands. With the depletion impact, the fracture pressure is decreased as stress decreases. So we keep using the same drilling parameter as primary development phase. The maximum ECD can be higher when compared to the fracture pressure and lead to mud loss into the formation. This may be the main reasons that why the infill wells in Stone and Funan fields have significant number of lost circulation events. Therefore, the infill wells need to control maximum ECD to be lower than the fracture pressure due to the depletion impact. In the initial safeguard, we have applied during 2015 to 2018. The ECD threshold will be based on the local lowest ECD from the PWD data in the nearby area, or using the default number if no PWD available in the area. This method, one ECD threshold will be applied to a group of hand wells. However, the number of lost circulation wells still remain high, as I showed you in the beginning of the presentation. So, teams start identify the alternative method that incorporate the depletion pressure and become fracture pressure model as today and apply since 2019. Now the ECD threshold will be more specific to the individual well location that we go back to infill, and it will depending on the remaining formation pressure and depth. This is the result after applying new approach. The lost circulation in the wells significantly dropped by 22%, and the non-productive time is reduced by 40%. Also, we can drill to the deeper section until reach the ECD threshold limit. The estimated reserve gain from this section is approximately $57 million. And this is very impressive result, right? Now, you may wonder how the model works. As the title is Predict ECD Design by using fracture pressure model, this new practice consists of two parts. The first one is fracture pressure model. The model will estimate fracture pressure in sand and use the lowest number in the wells as ECD threshold. Then, the second part is the Predict ECD design, which is how we plan and manage drilling parameters during execution phase. Let's start to talk about the fracture pressure calculation first before we look back at the model workflow. This model will estimate the fracture pressure only at sandstone below the MMU, as well as the sandstone is assumed as main cause of lost circulation. The other cause will be out of scope, such as fault in the shell section or the interlayer between the sand and shell. This fracture pressure is estimated follow Eaton 1969 equation. There are three parts of the input parameters. The first one is overburden pressure. The second one, formation pressure. And the third one is Poisson ratio. The equation is look very simple, but in reality, it's very complicated when we have data limitation and uncertainties issue in Gulf of Thailand, especially for the formation pressure and the Poisson ratio. As we look back to our available data in Gulf of Thailand, there are limited information, especially for the elastic parameters in sand. Also, just only several wells were ran sonic blocks, which may not represent for all the entire area. Therefore, to obtain this information to calculate for the fracture pressure, the maximum ECD from the lost circulation wells were used to back calculate for the Poisson ratio by assuming that lost circulation happened to the lowest fracture pressure sand in the well. By doing this method, the model will have some uncertainty that we need to keep in mind. because we don't really know where is the actual loss circulation zone and also what is the ECD max that causing the loss circulation in the well. Another limitation and uncertainty parameters that I mentioned earlier is formation pressure after production. The variation of the estimated reservoir pressure will relate to the range of estimated fracture pressure too. In our areas, multiple sands were commingled production, and of course, all the sand in the same perforation bed cannot contribute at the same level and cannot deplete at the same pressure degree. It is very difficult to identify or measurement exactly remaining reservoir pressure by sand. With the combination of these two parameter uncertainties, there are several cases that loss circulation happen even the maximum ECD is under the threshold. Now we see the uncertainties of the model, but how we gonna minimize that? And this is what we do. We develop the proactive and flexibility workflow, which become our best practice. All the functions will work together through the project timeline. Start with gather all existing information to develop the fracture pressure model in the during project. The analog wells will need to keep the similarity of the subsurface and the during parameters to ensure that all unknown factors are captured. Or it means that we try to use the local data as much as possible to represent the future well prediction. After that, the fracture pressure for all possible zones that will be encountered in the infill wells will be identified. The lowest fracture pressure in the wells will be used as the pre-due ECD threshold in order to prepare the mitigation plan and the workflow. So now we have everything well prepared for execution phase. But however, during the execution phase, we will do the real-time well monitoring. So the plan still flexible to adjust based on the real-time well result. Finally, after the well reached the TD, its result will be used to update the model prediction. And then the workflow will be repeated again in well-by-well basis. This is an example case for the proactive and flexible workflow during execution phase that I mentioned. The fracture pressure will be estimated to all production zones as pre-due information. The lowest fracture pressure in the well will be used as ECD threshold. In this case, the well will keep ECD not exceed 13.5 ppg. After the well is drilled to certain depth, the sand correlation and the ECD threshold will be updated based on the real-time logs. In this case, there is only the first zone that we observe in the new well location. So the ECD threshold cannot be changed and need to control the drilling parameters to maintain ECD under the threshold. But in the another case, with the real-time correlation, only zone 2 and zone 3 are found in the wells. It means that the ECD threshold can be relaxed to the new fracture pressure or the new ECD threshold from 13.5 ppg to 14.3 ppg. With this flexibility, the drilling parameter can be increased and improve drilling efficiency. This is the real example case from a Funan well. In the pre-drill phase, the lowest fracture pressure in the wells was 13.9 ppg. Based on BHP data that we take, so the well was controlled ECD at 13.7 ppg to cover all ECD spike during the operation. After the well was drilled and get the real-time logs, those shallower depleted zones were not found in the infill well location. and the new zones not suspect depletion because it's not correlated to the offset direction. Therefore, the ECD threshold was updated from 13.7 to 14.1 ppg based on the sand that we observed in the deep section that I highlight at the yellow. However, this well was encountered lost circulation after reaching the well TD with the maximum ECD while during 14.1 ppg as we provide as an ECD threshold. It's because of the non-correlated zones that we found that we not suspect depletion. But after we take the RFT data, it shows that it's depleted because it's correlated to somehow in other reservoirs that we really not know. So in this case, it may not succeed in terms of the number of lost circulation wells that we cannot reduce, but it can prove the accuracy of our model prediction. This model is not only work well for the minimized loss circulation issue due to the depletion sands, but also improve drilling efficiencies and mitigation plan for other concerns related to the fracture pressure estimation in sand. The model can be leveraged to optimize pay window and well design to ensure that the maximum ECD in the well will not exceed the pressure at the shallower sand near casing shoe. If the green area is represented for the main pay section, in the ideal case, everyone may need to drill to cover all the pay window, right? But sometimes the well may not be safe to do so. Which require mud weight and estimate maximum ECD in the well may be too high. We may consider to deepen casing shoe and lost the shallower section, or set the casing at the top of the pay window and shortening the well TD. Or we decide to complete as 4-string well design to get all the section. This model will provide estimated fracture pressure in sandstone for well design selection in planning phase. Additionally, the fault zone is another concern that we not want to happen for the loss circulation. We normally observe as a possible cause, so the casing shoe and well design may need to consider to avoid drilling across the fault in the production section. During well completion, the pumping pressure for cement job will be considered to be lower than the fracture pressure too, to ensure that the cement will cover all the section and proper for perforation in the future. Beyond all of the loss circulation risk, these models can improve drilling efficiency as drilling parameter can be maximized and adjusted to be more appropriate to the fracture pressure and formation pressure. However, team and I never stop to find the new opportunities to improve our model and workflow. The alternative methods such as data science or RMA log study still under consideration and study for the feasibility to improve overall operational efficiency. This becomes to the end of my presentation. This story cannot be happen without team collaboration from over 50 people in the list. We believe in human energy and community. As we work as a team, we learn, we share, and we leverage our experience to enhance our technical efficiency for sustainable development in Gulf of Thailand. Thank you. So now if you have any question, you can ask me. I'm very welcome to answer all of your questions.
Thank you, Nardthida. We do not have any question in the chat box just yet, but I think if anyone would like to ask, you can either type or you can raise your hand and then you can unmute and ask. Any question from the floor? Okay, I got the question here from Kun Rex Low. Question is, do you use all this data for cementing operations as well?
We try to use, right now we study on the cement impact as well for the loss circulation during cement job. So we have some wells that try to simulate the pressure pumping during cement, and we study that. So right now we try to use the cement pressure pumping lower than the ECD threshold that we provide in the significant wells that are quite risk for the loss circulation.
All right.
Yeah.
Another question from Kun Papichaya. I do apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Is there normal to see the resistivity separation from LWD in depleted sand?
It's quite hard to see the resistivity profile separation in depleted sands if you drill with the oil-based mud. But in this, our case that we show you is in the water-based mud, so it's easier to detectable. But in reality, it's not all the case that we can detect these separations. It's sometimes we detect in some wells, or sometimes we detect in some zones, like in the shale section, or even the interbed layer between sand and shales. So this is maybe my answer, that yeah, we cannot detect all of them, but yeah, some we can detect.
Sure. Another one from Kun Rawit. I think he know you. Well, thank you for sharing. Great talk and great project to create value for the company. Have you and your team considered to take a next step for sand pressure prediction? If you have, could you please elaborate more on that?
We need to, because of our uncertainty that I mentioned, we have the post-song ratio, and another one is the formation pressure after production. In that case, we have just only the BHP data that is quite grouping all the sands together, and just only one number. It means that it's not represent for the individual well or in the individual sands specific. So we try to use the sands, formation. We try to use the pressure that estimate by the real time by using the wells information as well, that we have. In our company have study on that too. So we try to use that information if it's available and it's more. If it can be used, it's gonna be help our model pretty much. So we try to use that as well in the future. But right now it's still under investigation.
Okay, I see. Next one from Kun Nantaporn. For Poisson ratio calculation, how we can derive fracture pressure if we don't have pressure while drilling data in the oil wells? I think this is really applicable to Chevron.
Yes, because in our area is quite very limited information about this one as well, that in oil well we never start. In oil well we don't have any issue about this one before, so we haven't take the PWD data, right? But after we get the issue a lot more in the lately years, so we start running the PWD data in the well, and then if we don't have that in the oil well, maybe we suggest you to look back all the information that you have, such as the mud log, or maybe you can use the some estimated numbers that it should be, or simulation. Yeah, simulation is maybe the best case that you have, like a simulation that if you have drilling parameters like this and you use the mud weight like this, what is gonna look like with the maximum ECD in the well. So that's one is can be applied too. But you have to keep in mind that this number is not come from the real measurement from the tools in the wells. So it means that maybe have some uncertainty on that. So it's reflect to your model that maybe have some uncertainty to predict the fracture pressure too. So you have to keep in mind on that uncertainties when you use the model.
Thank you very much.
ค่ะ
Is there anyone else ask any other questions from the floor?
Or you have any suggestion, you can tell me as well. Yeah, I'm very welcome for all the suggestion because this one is like my study and learning while I'm working as well. Yeah, I'm not a lock mechanic background as well, so this is quite new for me too. But yeah, this is from what I'm observe and try to do the best that we have from the data that we have limitation like this.
Yeah, I think I may add another comment, not really directing to this topic, but as an ex SPE young professional chairperson, so I really appreciate that we have good topic and good presentation from you that probably inspire other young professional to be on stage and also deliver the interesting story as well. So thank you very much, Kun Nardthida.
Thank you so much.
Any other question? One,
like unction.
2, and 3. So no, just joking. So I think that probably be all for tonight. Not sure if Kun Kasian, do you have anything to add?
No, Kap. Thank you very much for your great presentations. That's all from me.
Thank you,ค่ะ.
All right. Thank you very much then. And again, the last slide would have to be our sponsor. So thank you, our sponsor. Okay. Thank you for joining. Have a good day and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Kun Panit, sorry, and the participant, just quick one if you're still around. We're still trying to figure out what is the best timing for this meeting.
Okay.
It is online. So if you're still around, you can just leave that in chat, whether it's 6, 7, or 8 that you prefer, and we will consider on the next sessions.
Sure.
Thank you very much.